I want to get your reaction first to this breaking news out of Florida and all that we're hearing, approximately 20 dead, and what we're hearing from authorities so far in this investigation.
Well, it certainly looks like another one of the extremist attacks, Islamic extremism. There's just within the wonderful group of Islamic people, a certain group of radicals, and it's been there for a long time, and it seems to be growing, and we have to accept that fact. We have to be cautious about it. Our committee, my subcommittee this week, has just concluded that we've had over 570 individuals either convicted or charged or connected to terrorism since 9/11.
570, this is the Judiciary Committee report, that 570 convicted or indicted since 9/11.
Since 9/11. And it's not stopping, as we see apparently today. More of these attacks are coming. It's a real part of the threat that we face. And if we can't address it openly and directly, and say directly that there is an extremist element within Islam that's dangerous to the world and has to be confronted. We need to slow down and be careful about those we admit into the country. We know about 2/3, and we haven't completed it yet, but about 2/3 of those people that were charged were foreign-born, almost all Islamic individuals. So it's a serious matter. I wish it weren't so. I wish there were some easy solution, but there's not. We have to be more vigilant.
Authorities are cautious. This is early. We don't know who this person is. At least we don't know publicly. It was interesting to hear the FBI answer a question about Islamic ideology, saying that this person had leanings toward that ideology, but the investigation continues. You seem to be making that jump already. That I don't know if authorities are there yet, but it did seem like they went further than we usually hear at the beginning of these investigations.
Well, that's what I took it to be. I think it pretty clearly the FBI knew what they were saying, but maybe not. We don't have conclusive proof. You're correct about that. It certainly shows, again, the reluctance of them to actually say the words Islamic extremism or Islamic terrorism. Of course, most Islamic citizens and visitors to America are not violent, but there clearly is a problem here.
How would you describe Donald Trump's week politically?
Well, it was a rough week because it got him off message and allowed people to and put members of Congress having to answer questions they don't like to answer, and it was just not the best of week. But I was with him Friday at the speech to the Faith and Freedom Group. It was well received and strong. He's going to make another big speech on Monday night, and I think that'll address the weaknesses and differences he has with Hillary Clinton. This man communicates. He's talking about the issues people care about. People's wages are not up, they're down. The percentage of Americans actually working with a job continues to decline. It was a terrific, terrible week last week on those numbers. And so I think he's got the message and the hope that people want. We're going to make change. We're going to protect you from excessive and unfair imports. We're not going to allow excessive illegal immigration to take your jobs and pull your wages down, as is happening today. And I think people are ready to hear it.
The horrific nature of today's event this morning also brings into mind national security. Do you think that this event changes the perspective, changes the focus of this election now?
Well, I think it's further movement in the direction that Donald Trump has set forth. We need to defeat the radical extremists around the world, and he will do so and use whatever force is necessary. And we need to be careful about how many the people we bring in and be sure we can vet them properly before we admit them to the United States.
The last GOP nominee, as you know, is saying that he cannot in any way support the presumptive GOP nominee. Here's Mitt Romney Friday talking about the comments of Donald Trump about that judge in the Trump University case.
I don't want to see trickle-down racism. I don't want to see a president of the United States saying things which change the character of the generations of Americans that are following. Presidents have an impact on the nature of our nation. And trickle-down racism, trickle-down bigotry, trickle-down misogyny, all these things are extraordinarily dangerous to the heart and character of America.
Your reaction to that, Senator?
Look, this was one off-the-cuff comment that he probably shouldn't have made. He's explained it and said he's going to stay off this subject.
Not to interrupt, but he did say it numerous times in a couple of interviews, and he was pressed on it.
Well, it's not the kind of comment that is focused on the main issues facing America. It's something he was irritated about because he felt he was not being fairly treated in that lawsuit. But what I would say to Governor Romney is, we've got a nation at risk. We are about to elect a person like Hillary Clinton who will take this country one way and Donald Trump another. I cannot understand the differences that he might have there. He's an outlier on this. The leadership in the House and the Senate have endorsed Donald Trump. They like to give advice on how he ought to conduct his campaign, but they are supporting him, and we're going to be victorious in November.
Last thing on this and the judge comment. You're right. He's expressed frustration with this particular judge. He said it differently at the beginning. He has since said that race nor religion should be used to determine if someone can do their job fairly. That said, his supporters will say this Judge Coriel has an affiliation with the Hispanic National Bar Association, La Raza Lawyers Association, which is separate from the National Council of La Raza, and they say that he had past statements about his companies, or Trump, these organizations did. But through all the proceedings, Trump's lawyers never made a motion to move the trial or to have the judge recuse himself. You're an attorney. You're the former Attorney General of Alabama. If he had a real problem with this judge on these issues, shouldn't they have filed a motion?
Well, the recusal motions require very specific proof of very specific acts and statements to recuse a judge. Maybe they don't think they meet those legal tests. Still, it obviously, Mr. Trump believes he's not been having fair treatment there. But he's correct. Trump was correct in that statement you just showed. Every American should be treated on the content of their character, not their race, not their ethnicity, not their religion. That's an important principle for all of American leaders to understand and notice. And I believe we'll move beyond this and focus on the key issues